bougie people, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about top luxury brands of 2022. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I hope you love it enough to stick around and subscribe. So the Real just released their 2022 top 10 luxury brands report, and we gotta talk about it because some things were really surprising to me. There were some brands that were missing from the list. There were other brands that were on the list, and I'm like, what the heck are they doing here? And some surprising insight on what's going on in the luxury world. Obviously, this report is based on resale of goods, right? The data that the Real utilized was the data of what they were seeing happening on their website, which brands were the most sought after, which ones were selling the most, which ones had the biggest increase. So it was really interesting to see where the brands landed. So let's talk about it, and I want to tick through all of the top 10 and provide you with some insights and some commentary because some brands there, I'm like, what the hell? So starting with number 10, the 10th spot was Balenciaga, which I am not surprised at all. Balenciaga is very much relevant right now. I do think that Kim Kardashian being part of the team at Balenciaga made some difference. I don't think that all of the improvement experienced by Balenciaga was because of Kim Kardashian, and I'll talk more about it. But I do think that she has helped bring the brand to the spotlight and have more brand awareness and put it on the media when she's wearing those ridiculous outfits that everybody's talking about and making fun of. And although I do not know if I think those tactics really work, because like seeing Kim Kardashian on a ridiculous mummified Balenciaga outfit of like caution tape, I don't know that that makes people buy more Balenciaga. I think it makes people talk about it, and I think it brings a ton of brand awareness because it's all over the media. But does that directly translate into sales? I don't know, guys. I think some things she drove herself. So I'll give you an example. Balenciaga has experienced over 40% increase in sunglass sales, according to the Real. And that to me is because of Kim Kardashian, because she is showing up everywhere with those badass sunglasses, you know, looking really cool. And Balenciaga sunglasses are very futuristic. I actually love them. I will put the link below for you for the actual sunglasses and for some amazing dupes from Amazon, okay, that look just as good. I'll put it in the description box for you. But I do think that Kim Kardashian was the driving force for that increase in sales. But when I look at bags, and a big reason why Balenciaga is on the top 10 is because of bags. Bags are the biggest sales driver for Balenciaga. Biggest gross volume is because of bags. And I don't think Kim Kardashian had much to do with it at all. I think the reason why Balenciaga sales when it comes to handbags are through the roof, it's because they have released really hot handbags. The two that pop up for me, number one is the Hourglass bag. The Hourglass has been a huge hit since it was launched, and this was way before Kim Kardashian became the face of Balenciaga. I remember myself in Paris, I don't know how many years ago, 2019 or 2018, desperately looking for Hourglass bags, and they were all sold out, and Kim K was still rocking Givenchy, okay? No, actually probably rocking Balmain at the time. And then the second one is the Le Cagole. The Le Cagole has been a huge success. Every influencer is carrying it. You can look on TikTok, all of the young, like millennials, Gen Zs, they are all rocking the Le Cagole. And again, I do not think Kim Kardashian was the one that drove that. I think the bag was already hot in its own right before she jumped on board. Balenciaga made a couple of really great moves with bag design that drove a ton of sales. Number 9 was Burberry, and I am very confused by that. Because in real life, I do not see people buying Burberry, talking about Burberry. When I look at social media, the only people rocking Burberry are influencers that are paid to do so. I do not see Burberry as a brand that is like talked about and worn, and maybe there's a cultural difference here. I think Burberry is a much bigger presence in the UK. It's part of the heritage of the brand. But when I look at Americans, I don't see Americans like, oh, I love Burberry. I also think that the Burberry check is pretty outdated, very passe. Who's buying this stuff? Maybe some trench coat sales, maybe ready to wear, maybe the scarves, but I feel like that is all so passe, guys. I think the trench coats are still good. I have a fabulous Burberry, actually, puffer coat that even though I think it's kind of passe, I still rock it, right? I don't care. I have my opinions, but guys, you gotta do whatever makes you happy, right? And some things I think are passe, I still wear because it's like, dude, I spent all of this money on it. I'm not gonna throw it away, okay? I'm gonna rock this. That's the case with my Burberry puffer. but I do think in general things are kind of passe with Burberry. And then when I think about the fact that there were 3 very big brands that were not on the list, and I'm not going to talk about them right now because I don't want to steal my own thunder. I will talk about them later. And then I think about Burberry past these 3 brands. Like, how does that make any sense? I don't know. Maybe you guys have more insight for me in terms of Burberry sales. Are you guys buying Burberry? Are you in love with Burberry bags? So I don't know. I'm a little confused about this number 9 position. Number 8, Fendi, and I'm very happy about this. I am a huge fan of Fendi. I love the Fendi aesthetic. I love Fendi ready to wear. I think Fendi has had some very successful bag releases. The latest ones, really beautiful bags, you know, they have the Fendi hardware at the bottom, you know, spelling the name of the brand. That has been so popular. I think ready to wear for Fendi is amazing. They are classic, but they're like chic, you know, they make you look rich. And Fendi prices are more accessible than most other brands out there. Talk about ready to wear, you get so much more at Fendi than you would get, for example, at Dior or Chanel. Also, we know that the Fendi baguette has been extremely hot. They have launched more recent iterations. They have released, you know, beaded versions, the do-it-yourself version, embellished versions, blingy versions. I think collaborations also have helped Fendi stay relevant. You know, if you think about Fila collaboration, Nicki Minaj, Fendace recently with Versace. I mean, that got Fendi on the map. Everybody talking about it. To me, was probably the best collaboration that I have seen in the past 2 years, that I thought there was actually design involved instead of just like logo swapping. Number 7 is Hermes, and I am a bit surprised that Hermes is this low on the ranking, because if you think about the Real, they are a resale site, and we know that Hermes is very hot in the resale market, especially right now that bags are impossible to score. Everybody's running to resale websites to be able to score the Birkins and the Kellys. So I was like, really, man? Like, Hermes is number 7. I would expect it to be so much higher. But I think, you know, after I thought about it for a little bit longer, what I thought is that Hermes pretty much only sells bags. Hermes does not have a big presence in the ready-to-wear world. I mean, how many people really buy ready-to-wear from Hermes because they love it? It's not. We are all buying that stuff because we want to score bags and we want to meet our quota. But Hermes ready-to-wear is not very innovative. The fit is not all that great. I think everything is very boxy, very square. It's also a bit of an older look. I feel like if Hermes had a bigger presence in the ready-to-wear and shoe market, they would explode if they did things that are a bit younger. And I'm not saying don't go do those crazy, ridiculous collabs. That's not what I'm saying. You can make very sophisticated, tasteful clothing for younger people with better cuts, with more innovative items. It would also make it a lot easier for us to meet our flipping quota if they had cute clothes. If Chanel required quota or Dior, I would have no problem because I want everything at the store. With Hermes, it's work to try to buy something. The shoes, like their releases are so limited. A lot of the same mode with the Orans, Oasis. Like, how many Oran sandals can we buy, man? Number 6 is Saint Laurent. Saint Laurent, I think, is a brand that is very sexy. It appeals to Gen Z, millennials. I think Saint Laurent has had a few very good hits with handbags lately. The Saint Laurent hobo bag, that has been a huge success. And also the Icary, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that oversized tote bag, that has been a hit everywhere. I think that bag is such a vibe, okay? I hate totes, you guys know that. I think totes are very like boring. They don't add anything to your style. They make you look like, I don't know, mummy. And nothing wrong with being a mommy. I am a mommy too, but doesn't mean I want to be a mommy. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be a cool mommy, not like a soccer team mommy. Not offending, you know, not intending on offending everybody there, but you know what I mean, right? It looks really basic when you have just a regular tote. And I think that the YSL tote is gorgeous. It's stylish. It's va-va-voom. The one complaint I have about YSL is, I don't know, I feel like the fit of the YSL clothes, they are made for people that are a size 0 or maybe like -2. Nothing works for me. I'm a tall girl, I have big boobs, I have hips, I have a butt, and I feel like Saint Laurent is like for people that are like models, you know, starving themselves. It's very sad. I don't think they are super inclusive as a brand, and maybe that's a little bit of the mystique, but in terms of ready to wear, it does not rock my world because I feel like their stuff does not work on normal people. Number 5 is Dior. Not surprised at all. Dior is so so relevant right now. Dior is killing it. It is everywhere. It's selling like crazy. Real people in real life, like all of the people that I know that have money, they're all rocking Dior. They're all buying Dior ready to wear and fashion jewelry and all of the bags. I just came back from Mykonos. Dior totes were everywhere. They are doing well. And as much as people like to hate on Maria Grazia Chiuri, I mean, she's doing it right, guys. It sells. You know, the critics don't really matter. Critics are not the customers that are actually buying the merchandise 9 times out of 10. People can talk all they want, but Maria Grazia made the brand more relevant with the younger generations. I think women really identify with this more modern boho vibe with the maxi skirts. It's very girly, very feminine. Also, the sporty side of it, you know, the oblique, the logo skirts, the shorts. I think the younger generation loves it. It's cute. It's cool to rock the boots with the sneakers, you know, with the cute Dior shorts. I feel like there is a little bit for women of every age at Dior right now. The other 2 huge wins for Dior. Number 1, bringing back the saddle bag. I mean, that was a brilliant decision by Maria Grazia. That bag sells like hotcakes. And then the second one is the Dior book tote. I mean, the Dior book tote has been a humongous success. It is everywhere. They keep launching it every season with different prints. The who's who is rocking the Dior book tote. If you went this summer to any of the resort towns, Ibiza, Mykonos, Capri, Saint-Tropez, I mean, Dior tote is the price of admission to all of the day clubs. I mean, all of the foo-foo ladies, all of the young girls, some rocking fake ones, but you know, it is an aspirational resort bag that everybody wants. Dior grew so much that the last time that they were on the top 10 was 2019. Number 4 is Prada. Again, Prada should be on the top 10. Prada is killing it right now, right? When you think about what is relevant in fashion right now, the aesthetic that everybody's going for, if you look at the younger generations, because remember guys, I'm 49, almost 50, and as much as I would love to think that brands are living to cater to me in my age group, they are really not. The key for a fashion brand to succeed and to stay in business for the long haul is to connect with the younger generations. If a brand just worries about the 40-year-olds, the 50, the 60, eventually this age group dies and they die with that age group. So they have to be consistently looking for connecting with the younger generation. And Prada has mastered that. With the re-edition bag, with the nylon bag, they introduced a bag in an accessible price point that became very aspirational for younger folks that got Prada back on the map, 100%. And then they capitalized on that and kept releasing additional variations of the re-edition in raffia, in fabric, in leather, in textured leather, because this bag has been such a cash cow for them. Also, their aesthetic is very modern, simpler lines, super cool, along with what younger folks are looking for right now. You know, when I think about Prada, I think about Hailey Bieber and her aesthetic. And then the other piece is all of the bling. If you think about all of the bling that's happening in the fashion world right now, crystals on bags, crystals on shoes, on clothes, Prada really was the one that kind of exploded that, right? Other brands were doing it, Alexander Wang was doing it, but Prada was really the one that exploded the glitz and glam. Number three, what am I gonna say? Number 3 is Chanel. Very problematic Chanel. What do I say about Chanel? Chanel has not been on my good graces for a while. Doesn't mean I'm never buying Chanel again. It doesn't mean I'm boycotting the brand, but I have not purchased a Chanel bag in years. I don't know, it's probably what, 3 years or 4 years or something along those lines. Here's the thing, right? Chanel is pissing me off to no end. So many issues. Where do I start? Let's talk about the terrible customer service and how horribly they treat customers in general. And I'm not talking about every single boutique and every single sales associate, because I know sales associates that are amazing and the sweetest, kindest people you ever meet. I know boutiques where the service is amazing, like Chanel in Orlando. They're really nice, always treated me really well. Same as Chanel in Boston. But there are other Chanel boutiques. I have had so many bad experiences at Chanel that it's more than I can count. All around the world. I've been mistreated in Canada, in the US. Beverly Hills is probably the worst boutique in the whole globe. It's just terrible. Okay, so let's start with the terrible customer service. Then let's talk about the price increases, which are absolutely ridiculous, considering problem number 3, which is the decreasing quality of their products. You are decreasing the quality and you are increasing your prices? How does that make any sense? So many problems with Chanel quality on the Chanel classic bags. The Chanel 22 has been a huge controversy, even though I love that bag. Like, I love the shape of that bag. I think it's so cute, so modern. But when I hear about the quality of the leather, the issues that people have been having with the bag, the hardware that says Chanel and it kind of completely coming off, guys. Some of the bags that I have seen recently on the boutique, if I wasn't at the boutique looking at the bag, let's say if I had bought that bag at a resale site, I would have thought the bag was a fake, because the quality of the leather was so thin. The leather on the shoes, on the bags, like, it's terrible. Like, $8,000, $10,000 for a classic Chanel bag that everybody has, that's not gonna differentiate you from anybody, to me is ludicrous. So that's where I'm at with Chanel. But here's the thing with Chanel. Chanel has a die-hard following. Chanel has groupies that no matter how terribly they're treated, no matter how terrible the quality is, they will be there for Chanel. And I think part of the reason for that is because the Chanel aesthetic, the aesthetic of the brand, is something that you cannot find anywhere else. Like, Chanel is very girly and preppy and sophisticated. It makes you look like that girly rich girl that women love. It's very feminine. Think about any other brand that has the Chanel aesthetic, with the beautiful tweeds, with the sets, all of the cute belts, you know, with the brand and the pearls. It's a very specific vibe that you cannot just say, I'm never buying Chanel again because I'm gonna go buy X. Very difficult to replicate. If you are a person, for example, that likes modern looks or edgy looks, you can get that in many different brands. Louis Vuitton, you can find edgy looks. You can do Prada, you can do Off-White. Alexander McQueen has edgy looks. Like, it is something that you can find in many different places. But the look of Chanel, it's only Chanel. What are the other feminine brands out there? Think about Dior, completely different than Chanel, because Dior to me is more of a boho vibe now. And then you have Dolce, and Dolce completely different, because Dolce is all about the florals, you know, very different aesthetic. So there's nowhere to go, you know? And I think the other piece that counts a lot for the success of Chanel is that Asians love Chanel. Asians are die-hard consumers of Chanel. And we know that Asia drives the luxury market. They love the brand. They are okay with waiting in line 5 hours to be seen and treated like crap. The brand has that much of a stronghold in the culture. And I think it's very interesting, because if you look at different cultures, different brands thrive in different cultures. It's very interesting for me to observe. So Chanel is doing well. You know, what can I say? Despite all of these things, despite opening boutiques just for VIP clients that people are not allowed to go in, like, they are exclusive, but like in a bad way, in a snooty way. Like, I can't stand that. But it seems like people are okay with the insane prices and the terrible quality and the not so good service. You know, despite all of this, they are kicking ass. Number two, very surprising to me, because I thought this brand was going to be number one, but number two is Louis Vuitton, okay? It was number one before. It lost the number one spot this year. Louis Vuitton, obviously the number two spot, still amazing, still better than all of these other brands we talked about, still selling like crazy. We know Louis Vuitton, to me, is a brand for the masses. It's extremely recognizable. It is aspirational for the masses, you know, for the vast majority of the population. I think it has bags that are more accessible, so that makes it highly successful with the vast majority of the population. I also think that Louis Vuitton has been doing some collaborations and releasing all of these special editions. It feels like every week, and as much as I hate them, they are doing well. You know, they sell because they are limited. They're using the FOMO, all of the sales techniques that this is limited edition. If you don't get this bag now, you're never going to be able to get it again. And then people jump on it, right? So Louis Vuitton is still selling like hotcakes. And I think Louis Vuitton is also a very broad brand, because they don't rely just on handbag sales. Louis Vuitton, anything sells, guys. Shoes, bracelets, clothes, swimwear. Like, they are a very broad brand, which means very high volume of sales. Now, number one, the brand that passed Louis Vuitton, is surprisingly Gucci, okay? I just could not believe that Gucci is the number one top luxury brand according to the Real report. I am Shocked but not surprised. Does that make sense? Because here's the thing. Gucci is selling right now. Gucci has very high cultural relevance right now. And I think that that's for a few reasons, okay? First one, the collabs. Gucci is releasing collabs every week with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. And I hate these flipping collabs so much. You guys have no idea. There are like one or two pieces that I like from every collab, but I think they are overall extremely tacky. It's usually a cash grab scam, logo swap, no design involved whatsoever. I think they are very loud and obnoxious. Like, I despise them, okay? But obviously, I am not the target market for these collabs. You know, these collabs go for the young folks, the hype beasts, and it works, okay? If you look at Gucci Adidas, oh my God, so horrible. Gucci North Face, I wanted to throw up. One is worse than the other, but I know people that work at Gucci and they're like, we cannot keep them in stock, like everything sells. And I think that gets Gucci talked about a lot, and they're collaborating with brands that appeal to the masses, which is making sales skyrocket. And then the other piece that I think they're doing really well, it's kind of playing with vintage. You know, they have Gucci Vault. If you're not familiar with Gucci Vault, this is a separate website, a separate Instagram account where Gucci does very small collaborations with up and coming brands, indie brands, and they also release vintage pieces. So you know that the newer generation, and I see that with my daughter all the time, she's all about vintage shopping, all about thrifting. I despise thrifting, but if you look at the younger generation, they're all about it, and Gucci is capitalizing on that. And then what happens with that too is, by doing all of these things, Gucci is making their own vintage pieces more valuable. So people are now searching for the Jackie bag on the Real, right? They're trying to buy the logo vintage pieces from all of these resale websites. I also think that Gucci is an accessible brand. The prices are a little bit more reasonable, more people can buy them. And again, Gucci is also a very broad brand because it sells everything. Bags, jogging pants, pool slides, jewelry, I mean, sunglasses. Think about being very talked about, lots of collaborations, reasonable price points. I mean, that makes a recipe for a lot of sales. Does it cost in terms of the exclusivity of the brand? Absolutely, because I personally get turned off by all of that. There are very few select Gucci pieces that I buy, but it's not the case for the masses, right? So that's the top 10, but let's talk about the brands that did not make the cut, okay? They were very surprising to me. Versace did not make the cut. I feel like Versace is doing so well. I mean, every time I go to the mall here in Orlando, there is a line. People are rocking them like crazy. The Fendace collaboration was huge. Celine. You know, Celine is not a brand that sells to the masses. It's a more of a niche brand, I believe. But Celine not making the cut, and Burberry is? Like, I see more people rocking Celine in real life than I see Burberry for sure. And then the other one, Bottega is not on this list. How is that possible? Bottega bags are on fire. The Jody is being considered a new classic for Bottega, and they are not on the top 10, but Burberry is? Like, that to me makes absolutely no sense. And then Dolce & Gabbana was not on the top 10, but I'm not surprised there. I feel like Dolce & Gabbana has made enough people mad that people have cut that brand out for life and they are not going back. So let me know what you think of the top 10. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Would love to hear your opinions. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate you taking time off of your busy day to hang out with me, and I'll see you on the next video. Love you. Bye.